So what is our goal today? My goal today is to understand Tosfot. So, Rabbeinu Tam. So we're going to learn Rabbeinu Tam in Tosfot. We're going to see Rabbeinu Tam in the Mordechai and Rabbeinu Tam in Sefer HaYosho. But I want to explain the Shittas HaTosfos. So in order to understand that, I'm going to say some nafkaminas like we see in the Tshuvas HaRashbo, Shut HaRashbo. Shut HaRashbo, he makes a chiluk between Chalipin and Kesef. Makes nafkamina la'alocha. So that will force us to try to define what is Kesef and what is Chalipin, according to Tosfot. What was the Avin Maskona? Number one, the second chiluk we saw in the Birkat Shmuel, printed in the papers. Birkat Shmuel brings up Chaim HaLevi, another nafkamina and the definition of Chalipin, how Chalipin works. Those two things, it's printed here in.
How it works?
Yes. This Birkat Shmuel is printed in the papers of Slabot Kashitz. In page Vav, page Vav. So those two nafkaminas we're going to talk about today, B'ezrat Hashem, and we're going to try to make a decision what Tosfos holds, according to Tosfos. B'siyata d'ishmai. Tosfos says, Lekach nir leRabbeinu Tam. I read in Tosfos of Gimel Amud Aleph. Gimel Amud Aleph. Lekach nir leRabbeinu Tam. דגרסינן בפוחש משו בפרוטה למקניה ולגזין נפשו. Rabbeinu Tam says that the Hava Mina, why Chalipin works by Isha, we're not learning Kiyon Esodet Isha, like Rashi. And we erase the word Lemekan Nafsho. The Loi Bekpeda Talia Milsa is not depending on her wishes, her Kpeda. Elainu Taima, rather, what is the reason that Chalipin doesn't work? The Goma Kichakim is therefore, and I learn Isha says the word Kikach is Isha, and I learn Sodev says Kikach. The Kosi Bei Kesef, it's written in F1 Kesef. Ubepochos B'Shovepruto Lemikre Kesef. Unless the Shovepruto is not called Kesef. So here the Rabbeinu Tam says that why Chalipin doesn't work by a woman is because Chalipin works unless the Shovepruto is not called Kesef.
So that means it's part of Kesef. The Havamina is part of Kesef.
Oh, so what was the Havamina? See, now he goes on to explain the Havamina. V'amaksha shit chetchilo, and the maksha that is in the beginning, ve'imo chenami, so number one, b'shtav chazoka lo yiksho. He didn't ask about shtav chazoka. Why? That's simple. We're not going to make a woman like all kinyon esodet, like Rashi. And therefore, that's why later on the Gemara asks, how do we know shtar? The Gemara says, how do we know shtar by a woman? What do you mean how? Learn from F1. The answer is from F1. We're not learning from Sodeh. According to Rashi, we have a problem. Why the Gemara is searching? How do we know shtar by a woman? Let's learn from F1. Sodeh has kinyon Sodeh shtar. No, we don't learn kinyon Sodeh leisha. We learn kesef. Elo lekesef davka nechsiv kicha. Only by kesef, the word kicha means kesef. Only kesef we learn. Nothing more. So why we thought Chalipin? If it's only kesef and I exclude shtar and chazokah, so why Chalipin the Gemara had avamina that it works? And this is the big chiddush of Rabbeinu Tam. Ve'lo yiporich michalipin. The Gemara did not ask from Chalipin. Elo mishum only because they became kesef dekro. It's like kesef of the verse. Sheyesh b'hem shavapruto, which they have a shavapruto. It will explain in a line from now that is intrinsic. The shavapruto is needed. Again, so according to Rabbeinu Tam, He says, what was the Havamina that Chalipin would work? I'm not learning Kinyon Sode. So where do we see why we have Havamina that Chalipin would work by a woman? If we're not learning the Kinyonim of Sode, the acquisition of Sode, where do we get Chalipin? Why? Because we learn Kesef Kirkirim is there and we learn also Chalipin. Where Chalipin comes in? He says, no, Chalipin came in because it's part of Kesef.
If it's part of Kesef,
Well, no, I said the wrong words. It's not part of Kesef. He said, it's Ke'ein Kesef Dekor. It's like the Kesef of the verse.
But then it's not a fourth way. It's not a fourth
It's not a fourth way. That's the Havamina. The Havamina was that it should be part of it, and therefore it's not a fourth way. It's part of the three ways. It should be part of it. And the Maskona is there's a third way. It's a fourth way. Kiyanache. That's what we knocked it out.
And what is Kesef the call? What is the meaning concept?
Now, what does it mean? It's like Kesef of the verse. Shem Shem Pluto.
We said in the Beis on Aleph, you said thesis, you said.
Yes.
Says, you would think they say Kesef means Daka Kesef.
Yes.
It says Kesef. Kamashman Shove Kesef. So really, when I say Kesef the Kro, he's maybe only Mamish Silva Mamish.
No. We learned already Shvei Kesef is the same. But the question is, the Shvei Kesef is intrinsic or is the Mikre? So that's what he says. Hochi Perusha. Ve'im Achinami. Shetikne Isha B'Chalipin. Kesheyesh Bo Isha Chalipin Shove Puto. When a Chalipin has Shove Puto, there's a Havamina that would work. Why? Kein Kesef Dekro. It's like the Kesef of the verse. Tfei, it's more than Shtar. More than Shtar, Shev Shove Puto. Shtar, the Shev Puto is no Havamina that would work. Again, we're learning from therefore only Kesef. So why Chalipin is a Havamina that would work? Because as Shove Puto? Maybe it's a Mikre. Also by Shtar, if Shtar has Shove Puto, there's a Havamina that would work. Mitzad Kesef? No. Because he says Shtar can be in the Surah, no. Then tzorich sheyishve ashtar puto because the Surah no kosher. I can write it even on Isur no. Isur no means that the thing is prohibited. Let's say it's avodah zorah. They wrote it on a piece of paper long time in the Zohar, so you have to burn it. Isur no is no pleasure, so there's no ano in it. There's no shavius. Yet shtar work, because shtar doesn't need that the paper has to be worth anything. Aval Chalipin the Shove Puto. But Chalipin, which I have Shove Puto, the reason why it works, because intrinsically, something intrinsic inside in the Hefza, you have Shove Puto. Why Chalipin? Why can it work as an exchange, as a Chalipin exchange? Because where's the exchange? Even though when I'm buying a table and giving a handkerchief, there's not really exchange. It's just worth $10,000. It's worth 10 agurot, 40 agurot. What's the exchange here? 1 shekel. Answer is, but since I'm exchanging value with value, even though there's different, people consider it as an exchange, because that's what I need. So, although it's not the same worth, but as some worth in it, it still can work. The original Chalipin was donkey with a horse. I need a donkey, you need a horse. We exchange it. So let's say a donkey is worth more than a horse is worth more than a donkey. So I'm exchanging a donkey and a sheep and a goat together with exchange for a horse. Okay, that's why I fill up the gap. But the exchange would worth it. Shove b'shove. Came the Gemara and Maseches Kiddushin, and they learned from Ruth ala gula v'ala tmura that you don't need also value against value. You also can give na'al. You can say also shoe, also sudo, which is sudo. Where's the exchange? I'm not exchanging a donkey with a horse and a goat. A donkey and a goat against a horse. I'm not exchanging para b'chamor, which is shove b'shove. No. I'm exchanging a handkerchief for a field. The koine gives the handkerchief and then Moiche gives the land. But since the handkerchief is worth a pruta, is worth something, so symbolize the exchange. And not really exchange. Later on, I have to pay him money or something, appease him or the reason. But the exchange act with value makes the acquisition.
Also with money, you can pay a little.
Also with money, I can pay a
You
little.
pay a little amount for a big house because
That's the smart. I mean, that the taz, I pay a little money, and it's a kinyan, like Suda, yes? So now, when Toysa says the Havamina, that Chalipin is Kesef, Kein Kesef Dekro, like the Kesef Dekro, how Toysa understood? Kesef, its value. I'm giving the value of the field. I don't have to necessarily give the full value, but I'm giving the value. I'm paying for the value, right? And Chalipin is what? Chalipin, when I have Chalipin, which has Shabbat Ruto, it's Ke'en Kesef Dekro, it's like the verse, the Kesef of the Torah. It's doimim lekesef. It's similar to kesef. It's like kesef of the bosom. The word similar and like means maybe has his own identity, his own dinim. I don't know yet. But Tais understood that Chalipin has his own identity. We're going to learn now the chilukim and identity Chalipin and kesef. But since the kesef in the Chalipin, the Shabbat Put in the Chalipin is intrinsic, it's needed, although there's his own dinim, so Yemele is doimele kesef, and therefore there's a havamina, the Chalipin work, because since I'm learning kesef from Ephraim to a woman, to Isha, and Chalipin, Shabbat Puto, it's doimele kesef, so therefore it's part of doimele kesef the Kra, so when the Torah said kesef, the Torah meant kesef and everything which is similar to kesef. It's all part. Kesef doimeloi. Kesef is anything which is doimeted. Even though it has his own identity.
So what do you need to, how do you need to exclude it for? If it's part of one of the things, exclude something that's not in. That's something.
We don't exclude. We put one in. We put it in. The answer of the Gemara answers. Let's see the answer. Umeshani Chalipin Isnayu Rebosha Reputo Vim Ken Eino Mitam Kesef Ken Acher. Since Chalipin exists less than Shabbat Pruto, must be it's a Ken Acher. And therefore it's a fourth thing, so we have to exclude it. Now 1 second. There's two things which needs to be explained here in Tosfot. Two major things which we're searching today to explain in Tosfot. This is our goal of Ashio. One thing is, what was the Havamina that Chalipin, when it has a Shabbat Pruto, it's Kesef? We didn't know that Chalipin works even less than Shabbat Pruto. That the Gemara answers, since Chalipin works with less, it must be Kinyan Acher. But we knew that in the beginning. So what we thought, it doesn't affect? Or Chalipin less than Shabbat Pruto, since it's clear, it's Kesef. So let's open the Rashba, Tshuvas HaRashba. Open Tshuvas HaRashba, please. Tshuvas HaRashba. Tshuvas HaRashba on page Gimel.
So you want to know what's included in kesef?
Yes. Okay. I'm reading in the left column, 2, 4, 5 lines on the top on the left column. Shuta Rashba. Gam Nirali. You have it? There's 2 columns, right and left. The left one, 5 lines on the top. By the way, Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi is in it. His soil is around?
He's here, he should be coming in.
Okay.
He doesn't have a thing to get in. How do you get in?
How he got in?
I know that outside.
What?
The front door. You can't get in without a
Front door.
key.
No, somebody's.
So you open it and you put a rock there.
On the front door.
Then you can't break in the
For 1 hour, for 10 minutes, 20 minutes when he comes in. It's a big problem. I always said we had a problem with the homeless people and the crazy people walk in. And we have the problem not to be stolen. So we decided, my father, bless his memory, decided greater is not to be stolen and let everybody in. But we decided to be stolen. Chaz v'sholem. So we can't be stolen. So when we lock the door, we still have to be nice and kind. Somebody came this morning to the yeshiva and he says, can I bring a bachur in? And I don't have a chip. He doesn't have a chip. Means you don't want us in. I said, no, I only want the homeless out. Oh, thank you very much. But when he got the message, that we don't want people. I got very hurt from it. What kind of happen is that? So maybe one of the things I'm thinking now, right now in my mind, you have to put a sign with a number. The number of 1 or 2 bachim that are here all the time during the day, that it can be available to open for somebody normally. And the phone is normal, you open it all. Normally homeless people don't have phones. If they have a phone, already call you with a number, even though they're normal, you let them in.
Yeah, but anybody can call
That's what I'm saying. You identify through the phone. There's a machine, you hear that guy speaks. Who you are, what you want, what's your phone? I want to have a coffee. What do you want? Okay. But we made a decision to do one way. Arba works, and it gives it value. Also gives chashivus to the boys in yeshiva. They're not here in hefker place.
It's mamash. I feel much more peaceful.
You feel much more peace?
During the day, I feel so much more peaceful.
Wow. So now you make me happy. And yes, I know it's the right
It's not
decision.
me, just me.
How do you feel, Alex? Better with it?
Much better.
Much better. Okay. Okay, that's the answer. That's manim lo dovim. It's not the same times 30 years ago or now. Okay.
40 years.
Yeah, I told you I got a phone call from Rabbi Ben Kamun. She said, I want to give you a Musa. Was she Musa? You're lacking the whole place like Sdom, not like the Rebbe. I answered what he answered. I said, it's not the same years ago now. Not the same. People live here and they suffer from them. They steal, they take. It's very hard.
Yeah, but there has to be a way. They're like my kids. They come where my
Right. So I said, we have to have a phone. We have to have a phone. We have to have a phone.
say the name.
Right, something like that. A number or something like that. That's
You have a lot of chesed, but sometimes people take advantage of it.
right. That's what's our problem. But still, we cannot learn not to become chesed. That's I'm talking in public about it. It's not a bittul Torah. I'm spending time to speak about it. That people should not get accustomed to bisdom. We have to do it because we must. But don't forget, you're still obligated to do chesed and be kind to people, and judge favorably people, etc. Kiruv, yes, that's it. Okay, let's continue on. So comes the Rashba, Shuta Rashba, 2, 4, 5 lines from the left column from the top. Gav Nireli also looks to me. Shasvara tluyo bedin echod. The svara, if Chalipin works when the kinyan takes an effect, the Chalipin already was being given back. That's the subject of the Rashba. If I give Chalipin to someone and I say acquire in 30 days from now, by Meshicha it doesn't work. By money it works. Again, let's go over. Want to know where I position Chalipin? Like Meshicha, like Kesef. Again, we have a rule. If I tell a person, pull this cow and acquire it in 30 days from now. So since 30 days from now, the Meshicha, the act of the king is gone, is finished. Doesn't work unless the animal's ba'agam, etc. Chotzer, it works. But Meshicha doesn't work for later on. But money, if I give you money, I say, I want to buy your cow in 30 days from now. When you finish your field, the prior field, I want to buy your animal. You finish in 2 weeks, I want to buy your animal. You don't need it anymore. I want to buy it. Here's money now, and 20 days from now, when you finish the plow of the field, I want to buy your cow. It works, even though the money was eaten. You already ate the money. The buyer already ate the money. He swallowed the money. Woo, so quick. You need the money so badly, he already swallowed, he spent, he made gmachim, he ate. Who knows
It's
what?
still working after the 20 days, another 10
It
days.
still works. Why? What's the chiluk between kesef and Meshicha? Because Meshicha, what acquires the act. So when you want the law to be effect, the act is gone. But kesef is not the act; it's the result of the act. You gave me money; my money's by you. So now you owe me money. It's a debt. So that money, that extra value which I gave of mine is by you. In exchange for that, you pay me. So the debt is still there even after 30 days. So the debt can acquire even after 30 days. Where I position Chalipin comes the Rashba, so it depends. If Chalipin is kesef, it's the same thing like kesef. If Chalipin is kiyanach, it won't work. That's inside. Gam Nigali also looks to me. The question is, can Chalipin work la'achar zman? We don't say kol kinyon that the kinyan is finished, or doesn't work, or does not work. That question is dependent on one question. Who it is? Im Chalipin koinim in kesef. If Chalipin acquires from the law of kesef, so then, even later on, when the Chalipin is gone, when he gave it back, still it works. Because you made a decision to give it back, but there's a debt there. So I gave you Chalipin, you'll have to hold it, whatever we want to see. So then there's a debt. It's like kesef. So it's a debt, even later on. Im lo kshetim tzaloi ma'ashem midin kesef.
What's the first word of the line?
Im Chalipin, where kesef? The first word is kesef. Im Chalipin koidim in kesef, im lo, if not. Does Chalipin is koidim from kesef or not? Shekshetim tzaloi ma, when you want to say, sheyeshna midin kesef, and this is a punchline, the reason I'm bringing this Rashbo is for the next line, very important, mucho importante línea. Elo, the Rashba has a problem. How can we say Chalipin is kesef? But Chalipin exists even less than Shove Pruto. The Rashba reveals the big Chiddush. Rashba, Ramban, both. Elo, however, shechidesh bohem hakosu. Chalipin has a special Chiddush. Chalipin is really doimele kesef, it's midin kesef, but it has a special Chiddush. It says it is a unique point in it. What's the unique point? Chiddush of the Torah Kosu. The yeshnon that can exist, bepochos mishove pruto, can exist even less than the value of a pruto. How does it work? It works even less. How come? Later on he says the Torah value like kesef. We'll see soon.
Not kesef.
1 second, he says later on. 1 second, here he says it works. There's exactly how it works. And how the Torah define how can work meaning kesef when it's not kesef? It says since it's a kli, we'll see later on. He says the Torah is machshiv and chshiva. Let's see in a second. That's the reason I'm bringing this for the next 2 lines. This is what he says. Ef shaloima, you could say. The koine afilu lachazman kinin kesef. Even if the Chalipin has less than Shove Pruto, but the Torah there's exact asakosov that I still consider it like kesef, and therefore would work even when the money is gone. Later on, the alpha got these akula amois, even though the money is being eaten and being swallowed and chewed and digested.
That's what Hama'ot means?
Yes, nitaklu. Nitaklu means digested. The money's been digested. You know that? We are very accustomed to that, right? The money gets digested very quickly. Even though Shein Bo Shove Pruto, this is a punch here, Rabbi Gabriel. Sha'akosov ichshivoi kesef. What does that mean?
Say it in English.
The kosuv, the written, the Torah, ichshivoi, the Torah, consider it kesef. Since it's a kli. Ze'as hakosuv. You can say it's a kli lemelach. Later on he says svoras, more svoras. The Rav later on says because a kli it's worth for the person that needs the kli.
But it doesn't say
So it's
anything about
choshuv.
kli here.
Doesn't matter. But the chashivus is there, so I got something which is kesef. The Torah considers kli as kesef. It's a bechina. So since it's a bechina of kesef, the Torah considers that's the chiddush of Chalipin, which means Chalipin is not kesef mamash. It's doime, it's similar, has the same dinim, but also has unique dinim. What are the unique dinim of Chalipin? We learn in Shuta Rashbo. What is really our goal, Rabbi Berel and Rabbi Shmuel? Our goal is to learn Rabbeinu Tam and Toises. So we started with it, we explained what is Ke'en Kesef, they call lying together means it's not Kesef Chalipin. Has its own unique, but it's doime Ke'en Kesef they call. And the answer is King Anacha. So we brought the Shuta Rashbo that says an afkamina. We have halacha that by Mashiach I cannot do Mashiach lachar 30 yom. Kosov King Yomer. Meshoch porozu v'tik lachar yoshiyoy lo yikon unless it's only ba'agam. But if I give you money, kesef, after 30 days, I feel nisakru amoy, so it works. Because the kesef is not the ma'isa Mashiach. The kesef is the debt, and the debt still exists, even in Yitzchak La'amos. So the Rashba said, how do I define Chalipin? Where Chalipin in this category? It's kesef or not kesef? It's like Mashiach or kesef, depends. If Chalipin tam kesef, so then it's It's like kesef, I feel the sakul amos, it's shove pruto. If he's not mitam kesef, it's not. He says, how can he say chalipin mitam kesef when we know chalipin works even less than shove pruto? So he says the Torah, there's exera sakosu, the Torah is machshiv kli by chalipin less than kesef. The Torah is machshiv like kesef. Later on he says because it's kli lemalachtoy, it's roy lemelechet of the person. Let's say a tailor, one pruta can give you two needles, 2 needles. One needle is half a pruta, but he needs the needle. So for him it's choshuv. So therefore the Torah is machshiv when it's a kli, it's dover mesuyom lenal, it's dover sholem. A shleim for the person that needs it. Therefore, the Torah is machshiv with the kesef. So I'm saying a svor in toises. When toises are going to Rabbeinu Tam, chalipin is kesef, he wasn't saying that it works in the same way. It's only in certain aspect works the same way, but his own identity. It works in the same way. After the sakramos, there's no kol sakinyonoi. But it's not the same because kesef doesn't work less than shoveputo. But chalipin, when it's a kli, the Torah is machshiv et kesef.
And that was the avamina.
When I use the lotion of chalipin,
That's a big sword.
a big sword, what? And it's exera sakosu and chalipin. So that was the avamina. The avamina was the avamina and chalipin tam kesef, or kontu dos rishonim. Then you kontu maskon chalipin is kesef. But let's say the avamina. The avamina is tam kesef. How chalipin works like shavuot? Because Gzera Sakosov of Chalipin, there's Machshiv Kli, less than Chashiv Kekes. So we answer the first question. The first question we had on Toisves. Toisves says the Havamin is Chalipin is Kesef when Chalipin has Shove Puto. And the Maskon is since Chalipin has less of Puto, it's Kinyan Acher. But in the Havamin, we didn't know in the Havamin, Chalipin Posho Puto. How do we define what the Havamin Toisves? Chalipin less than Shove Puto. What about that? It's missing. It's an unknown part in places. The answer is we have a couple of answers, 2 options. One is we knew that chalipin less than pruto doesn't work, it's not kesef, but we didn't care, it didn't bother us. And the maskon is el chalek bekinyan. It's a kinyan acher, it proves the whole thing kinyan acher. Now how we thought there's 2 kinyonim, shovet pruto is kesef, less is not. Maskon is no, it proves that the whole kinyan acher. That's one option. The other option is like the Rashba. That really the Avamina Chalipin is kesef, and even less than Shovet Pruto is also kesef. Because Gzera Sakoto is machshiv with the kesef.
But I can quote him in a sefer.
Yes.
Because the Gemara is saying that what is the reason? Because the Poker Mishai Pruto lo mitkadeshet. So where is this reading that we don't learn that Gzera Sakoto or something like that? If the Gemara is not answering.
It's missing.
Yeah.
It's missing that it's not Gzera Sakosu anymore, that it's kesef. It's kinyan acher. Where we change in this, good. Okay, but once I found a Rashba like this, he's not afraid. Yeah, but let's see what the Rashba says. Let's see the Rashba says, you know what the Rashba says in our sugya? He stayed with Tzor Chiyun. It's not clear in our sugya how to exactly come in our sugya. Let's see what he says. We're going in 4, 5, 6 more lines. וכן נראה מהי דתניא פרקה מן הקידושין. Yes.
למה חלקים אולי יותר דומה על שטר? למה חכמים מדברים דומה על הכסף ולא דומה על שטר?
כי צריך כסף, תשובה. אז תוספות שאל את זה, ותוספות אמר, חליפין שווה פרוטה יותר טוב משטר שווה פרוטה. כי בשטר זה מקרה. אם על איסור הנוע זה כשר. חליפין על איסור הנוע לא כשר. אז רואים זה בעצם, זה אינטרינזיק. איך אומרים אינטרינזיק בספניש? לא יודע. אינטרינזיקו. אינטרינדה? טבון? טבון, קבל את זה. פורטוגז זה טבון. אוקיי, גוד. וכן נראה מהעיד דתניא פרקה מן הקידושין. By the way, I made a mistake. You don't come from Brazil. You come from Mexico, right? Yeah. So I don't have to talk to you Portuguese. Falo Portuguese, but Spanish. From our group. Good. וכן נראה מהעיד דתניא פרקה מן הקידושין. I'm reading the Rashba, shoot the Rashba. In the left column, Gimel, V'chen nireh. It's about 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11 lines, 12 lines on the top. In the left column. V'chen nireh. Ma'id Tanya בפרק כמה דקידושין. בכסף מקנוסוי. בכסף נקנה ולא נקנה בתמורה בכלים. ומאי ניהו חליפין. The Gemara says, if a divri is being acquired by a goy with money but not Chalipin, Al Mechalipin la miteres kesefim. So he says the maskona should be sorry, I jumped 3 lines. After the dat, avalim eino medin kesef, but Chalipin is not medin kesef. He cannot say that when it's gone, it will work. When the sudo came back to the master, it won't work for the future.
Oh, wow.
What's in the Mashiach? Ubevada and surely, Ravashi says, I don't have to give the Chalipin back, means I need to hold it by me. Must be that if I give it back, it won't work. Why not? If it's midin kesef, so let's say you give me money and I have to give you back. I give you back. But you gave me money, the debt is still there. So since Ravashi learns that I'm holding on, that would work only if I'm holding on to the sudo, Kniyam Nasna'aklos will not work. Only because it's gone, only when I'm holding the sudo by me. Mashma, they ain't no midin kesef. Mashma, that is not midin kesef. That he learned because I need to stay. If I need the money to stay by me, if I need the Chalipin to stay by me, must be opposite than Rabbeinu Tam. Rabbeinu Tam learned that even the Ravashi, since I can leave it by me, it's kesef. It's value. It's Chalipin mulano. Keshesh v'ano. It stays by me. I have reshus to cut it off. That was the Rabbeinu Tam Sefer HaYosho. He learns opposite. Since Ravashi needs the money to stay by me, must be there's not midin kesef, because kesef you give me and I ate it up or I gave you back, doesn't matter. I gave you back as a matona, but I got it already. So since I got it, it's a chiyuv mamoin. I feel in sakula, it should work even in the future. It's since Ravashi, when he wants to work for the future, he needs the star that he learns that I feel you need that you're allowed to cut it off means he learns not that you're allowed to cut it off. You need to cut it off and it has to stay by you because ain't no midim kesef. That's how he learns. He learns not opposite. What? Einam. It's not midim kesef. It's a big chiddush the way he learns. V'chenire ma'id etan perkam de kiddushin. Mikesef miknosoi bekesef nina betvu bekelim. Chalipin. Chalipin, kesef. Since we memorize, we say only kesef, not Chalipin, must be Chalipin, it's not kesef. Yes. V'shmai tzigidushin our gemor in Kiddushin. Da'amrinan midin the reish limut Chalipin. Minyona the reisha, the number 3 of the reisha comes to exclude Chalipin. Sankarai tachamin zahavim to say, oil v'gamrinan kichem is the Efroin. Ve'im ochenami. Kamash monad ve'im ochenami. That's not clear to me. He says, and our Gemara is not clear if the maskona Chalipin Tam Kesef or not. You can learn like Rabbeinu Tam in Sefer HaYosho and the Mordechai that we saw inside during the week, that only Chalipin less Shove Pruto is lekaim kol dovo, but Chalipin Shove Pruto it's midin Torah kesef, just by Kiddushin lechalek bekinyan. But by Alma, by Evet Knaini and Sode and Karka, Chalipin by Shove Pruta is kesef. Less Shove Pruta is lekaim kol dovo. So by Karka and Knaini both work, by the 2 kinyonim. And by Isho, since Chalipin Shove Pruta is lekaim kol dovo, so lechalek bekinyan, and we not got even Chalipin Shove Pruta, which is kesef. But we have 2 kinyonim in Chalipin. Shove kesef, when it's Shove Pruta, it's kesef. And when it's not Shove Pruta, it's been lekaim kol dovo, as the Rabbeinu Tam says in Sefer HaYosho. But our thesis holds that the Avamina was Chalipin Tam Kesef, like the Rash was, let's show put as Torah Shiva. And the Maskon is, or we said, or maybe you don't care, it doesn't bother me, that part of it is not. The Maskon is, since Chalipin exists, let's show Pruto was be, it's Kinyan Achi, even show Pruto. It's Kinyan Achi. It says, it's so clear, is that clear to me, what's a maskona? Maskona Chalipin, by showing this mitam kesef or not? Depends how you read the Gemara, right? Depends, not clear. So since not clear here, but he wants to Ikogin shall draw nearly, She'en HaChalipin shall get midin kesef, and he goes on to explain, that's not what I want to do right now. So, the Raz was a suffix, yes.
Because he didn't want to say that like the Sefer HaYoshua, that is a Chiluk in the Kenya.
Right. You know, he has a suffix. Do we say like Sefer HaYoshua, the Maskon Echli Bitam Kesef? And you mean there's no problem of Kosta Kinyon Alach Hazman? And, or no, Chaliv is not Bitam Kesef, there's a problem, therefore Chaliv is like Meshicha, like An Kodabo, and there's a problem of Kinyon Alach Hazman, Kosta Kinyon. So we have enough Keminas, that's Tam Lomdis, Chaliv Bitam Kesef, Tam Kesef. It's not Lomdis. Nafkamina by Kosa Kinyona can work like Hazman. So you have a Rashba that tells us an nafkamina between the things. Number 2, in the Lomdus, open page Vav, we brought the Birka Shmuel. Look at the Birka Shmuel. Birka Shmuel, Simon, page Vav. This Birka Shmuel is the Bom Metzia Simon Yud Sivkot Nal. Yes. There's 2 columns, a right column and a left column. The last 2 words on the right column and the bottom. The bottom line in Birka Shmuel Bometzisim and Yud, it's printed in Vov and Slabotka sheets. On the right column, the last 2 words. Ve'omar Moir ve'Rabbi zechuso yogan aleinu amen. You have it there? People have it there? Very good. Now, Reb Chaim HaLevi came here and told us not only there's a Shaila Chalipin is Kesef, so then there's no problem of Koski Yonoy, or Chalipin is a Kan Kodo, it's like Mashiach, there's a problem of Koski Yonoy. He also says the machinery, the way, the Chalois, the Das, we're going to say in a second works, is different in the case. So let's see what he says. The Bechol Kinyan, let's see what he says. Reb Chaim HaLevi says, the Bechol Kinyan, I'm reading the Birka Shmuel, Bometzia Simen Yud Sivkot Aleph. Ve'omar Amoy ve'Rabbi, my Rabbi, Reb Chaim HaLevi, Zechus HaYog Aleinu says, the Bechol Kinyan, in any Kinyan, Tzorich Das Lechalois Chefza Shel Kinyan. You need Das, knowledge, to make the law, to make the law of the thing of the Kinyan. Chalois, lechalois, to take law effect. Chefza Shel Kinyan, the thing of the acquisition. So I have to have that in order the law to take effect. Aval Kinyan Chalipin, but Kinyan Chalipin is different. Tzorich Das, you need Das, but which Das? Milvad Shelechalois Chefza Shel Kinyan, besides Das, for the law to take effect and the thing of the acquisition, Tzorich O Das. You need another Das. Woo! You need what?
Another Das.
What do you need, Rabbi? Another Das. Which other Das? You need a lot of Das, right? To do Chalipin, you have a lot of Das. You have to be a big Talmud Chochem. You have a lot of Das. Hibui Moichi. There's what? Tzorich O Das. Which other Das? The who Amaise Kinyan Gufa. What is he saying? He's saying you have to know, you have to have the knowledge, the Das, you have to be aware that your awareness is the act of the acquisition of Chalipin.
לא, אבל זה
Again,
פלוגתא לממש,
Again?
רבי, מה מציע? העניין של החמור, של הבקר, אם כן, עשה זה עם הבקר.
גם סודר, הוא מושך את הסודר. He says no. You're right, you have to do an act of pulling, but you have to know that pulling is not what makes it. Your Das, tzorich o Das, Tzarich das the hu ha'maisa kinyan gufa. That the das itself is the maisa kinyan itself. Why?
Is the Maisa
Well, it is the maisa. The hu ha'maisa kinyan gufa. The das is the maisa kinyan itself. Where it's a big chidushi. Rabbi Yehudim is mamish. Unbelievable. Why? Let's see why. He says, behold, Chalipin by Chalipin, the buyer is not giving anything to the seller. He's giving a piece of handkerchief. Even let's say a pruto, a kli. Elo, the din Chalipin who? The law of Chalipin it is das amakne, the das of the seller, shemagar Chalipin, his das agrees to acquire to him with Chalipin. So the buyer gives the seller the handkerchief, and when the seller receives the handkerchiefs, he agrees to acquire the land to him. A woman acquired a body to him, Kinyan Kiddushin, the land, the metaltalim, whatever the Chalipin is coined. Again, let's go over it. Let's shine it up here. If you give me metaltalim, or you let's say I do a Mashiach metaltalim. So you have a buyer and you have a seller. So the seller allows the buyer to pull the object, Mashiach, Agbo, Chazoko. He writes a shtar, he gives me money. So the act, not money, let's talk about not money, but the Mashiach and Agbo, what really happens? The act that I pull it makes Gemirus Das by us that this act will bring the halachos of the kingdom.
It's an agreement.
It's an agreement by two. When I do Mashiach and Agbo, say when you give me money, so then the seller receives money from the buyer. She gave me money. So therefore, the money, the debt, makes me the agreement that the money will buy the money will make a halachos kinyan to buy the land. But by Chalipin, it's not a real act. It's not a real value. It's a fake value. It's a lesser of a pruto, even a pruto, but it's not really. It's not shove b'shove. It's not an act. It's not shove b'shove. It's like shove b'shove. It's a between an act and shove b'shove. It's an act as if I shove b'shove. I don't shove b'shove. So really, what it is that the seller agrees with the Chalipin that he will give away. He will sell him what he wants to sell. So there he says the dot of the seller, it doesn't only that the act of Chalipin will make the halachos. He also know that his agreement that the Chalipin will make halachos, even though the Chalipin is not the real value, and he didn't give me anything, my agreement makes it. So by an act of Mashiach, the act does it. My das with the act. So my das says that the act will bring. I have das that the act will bring the halachos. By Chalipin, it's not only my das that act will bring the halachos. After all, my das will bring the halachos, and my das is the part of the Maisa Kinyan. My das is the act of the Kinyan Gufa. It's Gufa Kinyan.
Who knows that? Ask a guy on the street.
It's automatically. It's inside information. It's emotional. How do you call it? It's a
gut instinct.
gut instinct. Because he says it's wrong because you didn't give me anything. That's why I spend time to say Chalipin is only a simple act as if you're giving me value, but you're not. So yeah, I understand that it all depends on me to agree to that fake out, as if you're giving me. Since it's only as if, so I have to make the whole as if, so it depends on me. So my das is what makes it part of the Maseches, my agreement of the seller. I think that's a soul. But I have to stop here because I have to go to Bnei Brak. I will just say a small musushmus, mamish, for 2 minutes. So I did the ways and I only get there 2 o'clock. It's a Thursday. Yes. One second before I finish. Once before you ask, what I brought this to tell you in Ahava Melechlim Mitam Kesef Askone Kinyan Acher, and what way is Kein Kesef Dekro, but it's something, one thing is we see that as the Torah's Gzeras HaKosov, the Torah's Machshiv, less and put that's a special din in Chalipin. Second thing is, if Chalipin is Kesef, so then it has the dinim of, look, and there's no power of Kosa Kinyonoy. Number 3, Chalipin has a specialty, like we just saw in the Das, that it's not only Das and Chalois, that the Maisa does the Chalos, he has to know that this Das, he is goof of the Maisakin of Chalipin. That's the differences between, even if I learn Chalipin Shvatam Kesef, Kein Kesef Lekor, doesn't mean that Chalipin doesn't have his own unique machinery inside. Unless he says Mamash Kesef. But if you don't say Mamash Kesef, it's just Doime, it's a Toldo, it's Kein Kesef Lekor, it's to have his own uniqueness. Okay, here's what you want to ask.
דוגמה, מישהו קנה שדה עם חליפין. היום בערב נותן לך $1,000,000.
כן.
הוא עשה חליפין, הוא עשה קניין, הלך לבית, מישהו גנב, ייכנס לבית, כל הכסף שלו, ביי ביי.
כן.
קנה שדה או לא?
קנה.
אין לו כלום, הוא צריך למכור.
לא משנה, אבל חליפין קונה בקרקע.
הוא צריך למכור בית שלו, רק יש לו בית.
כן, מה שיהיה, הוא צריך לשלם, חוב. אם עשית קניין, אז כבר...
הוא עשה חליפין עם מחשבה שיש לו כסף על הבית, בזמן
עוד פעם, תסביר את הסיטואציה. עוד פעם, תחזור.
עשה חליפין. הוא יודע במוח שלו שיש לו $1,000,000 למטה המיטה שלו.
נו.
הוא הגיע לבית, אין כסף.
כן.
כל עניין של החליפין, בשביל שהוא יודע בדעת שיש לו $1,000,000 בבית, בזמן שאין...
אז תלוי, אם הוא עין ונופי כזו, אם עשו את זה מפורש על דעת כסף, אז חליפין זה לא כסף. זה לא קניין, כי עשית כסף.
עשה חליפין.
כמו שטר, כל שטר.
אבל עשה חליפין.
זה כלום, אבל אתה יודע שאתה לא, אין גמירות דעת בלי כסף. אין גמירות דעת בלי כסף. unless, חוץ אם יש גמירות דעת בלי כסף, זה שאלה. אוקיי.
אין חליפין בלי כסף.
לאו דווקא, יכול להיות כסף חוב. תקנה עכשיו בינינו ובינך, I don't need the money now, אחר כך מניאנה. עוד חודש, עוד שנה תביא לי כסף. לא מתונה, או חוב, או הלוואה. נכון, חליפין זה לא, אבל זה קונה בצורה של כסף. והסברנו, עדיין יש את היוניק, עדיין יש איזו מיוחדות, ודיברנו על מיוחדות של כסף וחליפין, אוקיי.